and welcome back to the Vintage Team Losi restoration project that's been ongoing for a number of segments now here on my channel. Today we're wrapping up the JrXT shelf clean project. There was a JrXT runner just waiting on front tires and the body to come back from the painter, and the JrXT shelf clean. And today the body has been, well, I got it back from the painter a little while ago and I finished it today. So let's bring the camera in, pop the top off, and talk about it. So if you're just joining this series for the first time, let's do a quick little recap. Back on December 28th, I had made a video saying that rather than doing an update on my JrX2 runner, which I had promised a year before, that I instead decided to disassemble the assembled JrX2s that I had, the half JrX2s and half JrXT parts cars that I had. Also, if you're new to the channel, that's Crush, everyone. Normally he jumps in for the intro. You're late, Crush. How unprofessional. So on December 28th, I decided that I would strip everything apart, take an inventory of all the parts that I had, clean them, sort them, and essentially try and build some quality shelf cleans. And after that, whatever else happened with the parts happened. The idea being that I would try to not spend too much money. Boy, was that a failure. So let's see. I started off by buying, I think, a set of JrXT or JrX2 rear shocks. Then I bought a complete Junior 2 made from mostly new old stock parts. Then I bought another complete set of Junior 2 shocks. Then I bought another complete set of, they were like JrX2 shocks, but the rear shocks had been converted from the 5-link suspension to just regular shock bottoms, you know, a regular spring collar, spring cup, and a shock eyelet. What else? Well, then we got to work. While we were making these purchases all along, the JrX2 bodies had already been ready to go. One full paint, one paint, and then MCI decals. The truck bodies were ordered after the project started. And then I went and made another extremely irresponsible purchase. And I was sober at the time, which is really not like me. Unlike the JrX2, that was fueled with, it was bourbon or scotch, one of the devil's elixirs for sure. Anyway, so the next one, no spoilers, but it's ready to go and it's going to go right on the shelf. So you might already have an idea if you've been listening to my ramblings for the last month, but if not, well, you can always tune back in and find out. So let's start with talking about the body. So the body is Team Blue Groove, and the challenge with the body is the wheel wells. There's no marks from the mold, no lines, no trim lines to show you where to cut. So that was challenging to try and get the wheel wells cut out, not only to look like the picture on the box, but to make sure they were symmetrical on all four corners. I looked at the picture of the box and I noticed that the Team Losi natural rubber racing tires decal up front and the Team Losi performance decal in the back were pretty much centered over the wheel wells, and there was very little gap between the decal and the bottom of the wheel well. So what I did was, before actually cutting out the body, I put these decals in place, and then I used 1/4-inch trim tape to outline the wheel well underneath the decal. Then I cut it with the scissors and then finished it with the Dremel. Then, to make sure that the edges were straight, I used a sanding block to get any high spots created by the Dremel. I used a sanding block along the bottom as well. Haven't done it on the front yet, but I should. And then the back. The back part, there's no way of knowing how to make that the right size compared to the original JrXT. There's no line whatsoever. So, I mean, I took a ruler and I measured down 1 inch from the tailgate, and then 1 inch. I was going to go 2 inches, but it didn't look right, so I went 1.5. And then the box shows the JrXT sticker on the back, so I placed the JrXT sticker, you know, on the body with the tape line, and it looked right, so I cut it. All right, next let's talk about the decals. MCI, no shade, they do a fantastic job, especially considering that, and I just learned this on the on the Facebook Team Losi Vintage Collectors page. A lot of the manufacturers back in the 80s didn't actually include the decals you needed to make the kit look like the picture on the box. I never experienced that before, so that was interesting. For sure, like my JrX Pro and the JrX2, MCI makes body panel decals, so you don't have to do the paint. The kits didn't come with that back in the day. So good on MCI, and good on the guy who posted to point out to me that, you know, cut MCI some slack, because they actually put decals in their product that you can in their on their decal sheet that they sell. They included decals that were never included in the first place, so that you could go for that box art look. So all this to say, I was kind of complaining a little bit that the JrXT sticker for the side that came on the MCI sheet wasn't large enough. It wasn't to scale compared to the pictures of the box art. And there's been little things like that along the way. Fortunately, Subula Tech includes a decal sheet with their body. Now, a lot of those decals are not actual Team Losi, reproduction Team Losi decals, but some of them are, and some of them are actually, I think, a better choice than the MCI decal. So it worked out really, really good for me. I was able to pick and choose the right decal that I wanted for the truck to look the way I wanted it to from one sheet, and then I'd go to the MCI sheet and go, oh no, I like this decal better. An example, the prime time, that's supposed to say Team Losi on top. So on the MCI sheet, it does say Team Losi prime time, but it's all blue. If you look at the picture on the box, it's black with this yellow lightning bolt. So it's like, one is more accurate in that it includes Team Losi, and the other one from the Subula Tech sheet is more accurate because the colors are right. The Subula sheet for the ranch pit shop, hobby shop that the Losis ran in California, on the MCI sheet, the letters are red. On the Subula sheet, they're white. If you look at a picture of the JrXT on the box, that decal was white. Revolution Racing, kind of the same thing. So between the, now also keep in mind, you can reach out to MCI and change colors of decals. So that's 100% on me. If I don't like the color of the decals that came on the sheet, I had the responsibility to take charge and contact them and say, I would prefer this decal, this color, and this decal, this color. They're open to that. I didn't do it, so that's on me, not them. So I tell you this so you're aware, when you purchase your MCI decals, and I highly recommend that you do, take note that you can customize the colors to suit your OCD or your touch of the tiz. You don't need to just take them at face value. You can customize them so that you don't cry about it like I am after the fact. All right, moving on from the body. When last we left this truck, the electronics had not been installed yet. So I've got the motor that came on the Junior 2 installed on it. I have the Novak T4 speed control that came on a JrX2 that I got from Doug. Don't remember exactly which one, but going through all my old photos and old videos, I could find it. The battery, couldn't tell you. Came in some other vintage thing that I bought somewhere along the way. I've been trying to bring all these old NiCads back to life by cycling, charge, discharge. Because my runner Losi cars, only the Pro SE runner fits a 2S stick LiPo. The rest still need NiCads. Servos installed. It's a Futaba FP148. Now, I went with simply a servo arm, which I know is an inappropriate choice. If you were to run the truck, you would definitely need to have a servo saver on there. But since this is a shelf queen, and since I don't have any servo savers, it is what it is. Stops the wheels from flopping around. My runner obviously is set up differently with a servo saver or a modern servo that doesn't require servo saver. Still have to secure the switch, just again for aesthetic purposes. I've got crystal that I can throw in there. I actually have the transmitter. I have two of these Futaba transmitters. They're the Magnum Junior Sport, not the nicer Magnum Junior, the very, very entry-level one without any expo or anything like that. Basically, it's got steering trim, throttle trim, and servo reversing, and that is it. So, that's it. We're calling this one done. Body is painted. Decals are stuck to the body. The truck is built. The electronics are installed. This one is absolutely ready for the shelf, and I am stoked. It is beautiful. There's still a little bit of work left to do to the primary Shelf Queen JrXT. So there's going to be another video on that coming soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And then there'll be a box opening. And that's it. Other than that, I am going to be listing my secondary JrXT for sale to help pay for my recent eBay purchase. And I'm also going to be selling my XXX. So I'll be doing an up close, some photos of that, posting them on Facebook Marketplace. Going to try and sell them in Canada because shipping to the US right now is a pain in the dick. But as long as the buyer, if I have an American buyer and they are patient, we can get it done, I'm sure. So that's all I got for today, guys. The JrXT project, Shelf Queen, is done. And I thank you very much for tuning in and watching all of these videos and commenting, liking, subscribing. Crush also would like to thank you, his adoring public. Somebody posted recently, not somebody, my buddy Matt posted, I came for the RC, I stayed for the cat. I love that. Thank you, Matt. I don't know if you can see him. He's holding his tail while he grooms it. What a cat. All right, guys. That's all I got for you today. Stay tuned for the next JrXT update. And as always, thank you for watching, and bye for now.